You probably know this feeling. You should really be working on that important project, or maybe studying for an exam, or brainstorming for your business. But instead of doing that work, you procrastinate. You say, I'm not going to do it now, I'm going to do it in 1 hour. 1 hour passes by, you say, I'm going to wait another hour. Then it's already evening and you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And this cycle repeats over and over again. And what happens as a result, you don't get the work done. And because of that, you don't achieve your goals. And finally, because you don't achieve your goals, you become frustrated and unhappy. In today's video, I will explain why do we procrastinate instead of working on an important goal from the point of view of neuroscience. So what happens in our brain that makes us procrastinate? And I will also share a simple solution that can help you solve this problem. Hi, I have a PhD in neuroscience, and on this channel we talk about becoming more productive using neuroscience. I'm going to talk about procrastination and how to solve the problem of procrastination. Oftentimes what happens when we procrastinate is because the task we gave ourselves is too big. When the task is too big, the brain sees it as a threat. So it sees it as something dangerous. When the brain sees something as a threat, the brain center for fear and anxiety called amygdala is going to get activated. Once amygdala is activated, amygdala is also going to inhibit prefrontal cortex. And prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that is involved in focus and decision making. So basically, when the task is very big, we get afraid, the brain activates the amygdala, and in turn, prefrontal cortex is not functioning well. And when the prefrontal cortex is not functioning well, we cannot make good decisions. So we choose to procrastinate. Usually it's to scroll on our phone, or to clean the house, or to go out with friends, instead of working on that project, on that big task that is actually important for us and is actually going to push the needle in the right direction to get closer to achieving our goals. What happens in most of the situations that I already mentioned, the task is too big and too overwhelming and it seems scary. That could be something like you decide to work out and you say, I'm going to go to the gym every day for 2 hours. Or saying, I want to become a YouTuber and I want to have 1 million subscribers. Or maybe saying, I need to prepare for the exam, I'm going to read 200 pages of the book. And the brain sees it, freaks out, activates amygdala, inhibits prefrontal cortex, and you cannot make a good decision. So instead of working, you procrastinate. A simple solution to this problem is task chunking. So when a task seems too big and overwhelming, you should chunk it into smaller pieces. So instead of saying, I'm going to work out every day for 2 hours, you can say, I'm going to work out for 15 minutes in the morning and then for 50 minutes in the evening. Instead of saying, I'm going to read 200 pages, say, I'm going to read 10 pages. And then I'm going to read 10 pages. So you set smaller goals. And in that way, the brain is not going to be overwhelmed. Another example, instead of saying, I'm going to prepare this presentation for my work, that might be 50 slides, you say, I'm going to make 3 slides. In that way, when the task is smaller, it seems less overwhelming to our brain, and this amygdala prefrontal cortex system is not going to get activated, so the prefrontal cortex will not be inhibited, and you will be able to make a good decision, meaning you will be able to choose to work rather than to procrastinate. So you will be able to make a better choice. I talk much more about this on my other videos, so make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you want your own personalized system to stop procrastination, you might be a good fit for my program Neuroproductivity. To learn more about the program and how we build an anti-procrastination system, you should schedule a free 30 minutes discovery call with me for a program which you can find by clicking on the link in the description down below. Now, to summarize this video, why do we procrastinate? Because oftentimes the task in hand seems too big, our fear response in the brain gets activated that makes it more difficult to make a good decision. So instead of working, we choose to procrastinate. To solve this problem, instead of setting big, overwhelming tasks, chunk them to smaller pieces and then do it one by one so your brain doesn't get overwhelmed. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in some of my other videos.